What is going on today, guys? A here, and today we're bringing you week 1 of the ISL season 4. If you missed the draft breakdown, definitely check that out. It'll be in the description and hopefully at the end of the video. So if you watch the video all the way through, you'll have an easy way to get there. Also, if you're new here and this is something you want to see, subscribe and like the video because that's what's going to help me out the most. Now, we are starting out against Celestial, who has a pretty interesting team. He has Necrozma, Alolan Marowak, Pincurchin, Braviary, Comfey, Gloom, Raichu, Alolan, Scrafty, Alolan Sandslash, and Vaporeon. 3 Alolan forms, a Pincurchin, a Necrozma. Comfey is a little annoying for our team, but I'm not gonna lie, our matchup is pretty good, and when we get to the Pokemon that makes that matchup really good, you'll know it. But we're trying to start the season out pretty strong. I have a goal this season to just kind of be very consistent, well-rounded player the whole season, have a winning record, make playoffs, and hopefully do pretty well in playoffs, if not win the whole thing. But without further ado, we're just going to jump right into this team builder and kind of not waste a lot of people's time. You can see the 6 that I'm bringing. I'm bringing Gengar, Incineroar, I'm bringing Diggersby, Serena, Rotom-fan, and Druddigon. I will say that the Druddigon slot has changed up a good bit in the process of building this team. I wanted to bring Drud, I wanted to bring Lucario, and I wanted to bring Wigglytuff. Drud seems like the more consistent option. Gives me a good rocker, glare, and stuff like that, but we'll get onto that a little bit later. First, we're going to start out with Compress, our Gengar here. We're running a Choice Scarf Gengar with enough speed to outspeed Alolan Sandslash in the Hell. He could set Manual Hell with Vaporeon. Does he do that? I don't know. I do feel like he has to pull off some kind of tech to beat my team. He's gotta be like Focus Sash Raichu, or like Calm Mind Comfey, or some kind of Trick Room Necrozma with Weakness Policy or something like that. Like something crazy has to kind of come, because he really just straight up kind of loses to my team. So I'm expecting some kind of tech to come out of this battle. The threats are probably Alolan Marowak, Braviary the most to me. Not really threatened by Alolan Raichu that much, but you'll see that why later. Gengar is here to help me chip things down for Diggersby. Gengar is here to come in, click Shadow Balls. If he doesn't have Braviary, we just click Shadow Ball freely. If he does have Braviary, we kind of need to work around that a little bit. I had Psychic on this set originally for Gloom, and actually that was pretty much it, just for Gloom. But I don't think he brings Gloom, and if he does bring Gloom, then my other Pokemon have a great time dealing with it. Like, I don't need to rely on Gengar to deal with it, and I never click Psychic in Mox. So I replaced Psychic with Trick because Vaporeon is a pretty common Gengar switch in, along with things like, I don't know, I guess Gloom could be one. Really, Vaporeon is his only Gengar switch in. He could sit in front of me with Pincurchin, and I could trick the Scarf to Pincurchin and do something like that. But for the most part, I'm hoping to get the trick onto that Vaporeon, because the Vaporeon is going to be the thing that Wish passes. It's going to be Wish Protect. Maybe he brings Manual Hell, maybe he doesn't. I have no idea. But that's the only reason I changed the Psychic there. We have Shadow Ball, Sludge Wave, Thunderbolt in Psychic Terrain. Does a ton to the Braviary, does a ton to Vaporeon. We have to watch out for a, what's it called? Lightning Rod, Alolan Marowak. But Alolan Marowak is not a switch in. He's risking it switching in Alolan Marowak to my Gengar, because we could just Shadow Ball that thing twice and call it a day, especially outside of Trick Room. But next, we have got our Endeavor, the Incineroar. We're bringing an Assault Vest, Intimidate Incineroar. He does have Defiant Braviary, so that's something I have to work around. I played very well around it in the mocks. I had no issues proccing Braviary's Defiant. Never did. Wasn't even close to really proccing Braviary's Defiant. This is really good though, because we're not going to be running Parting Shot anyways because of the Defiant Braviary. So U-Turn is here to kind of get a lot of chip on this team, because you'll see my theme is kind of chip, and then bring Diggersby in, click EQ and Quick Attack, and win the game from there. But Incineroar lives a +2 Rising Voltage in the terrain. live it like super duper comfortably, but it does live it. It's a great Alolan Marowak switch in, a great Alolan Sandslash switch in, not a great Braviary switch in because like I said, we don't want to proc that Defiant, but we have knockoff. If we do come in on some of those things, we take something's item, U-turn for momentum, Earthquake because it hits most of his team, and Flare Blitz for things like Gloom, or if we just want big damage on something like Braviary or something. But the EV Spirit, like I said, is kind of to just be a more of a special wall against this team this week. And it did a pretty good job at doing that. I didn't really feel the need to bring boots because his rockers are Necrozma and Alolan Marowak, and I think he has to use those move slots somewhere else. And if he doesn't use those move slots somewhere else, then I mean, we can deal with it because we have Defog on Rotom. This also completely walls any kind of comfy that he wants to bring. Even Calm Mind comfy just gets completely walled by this Incineroar. So if I do see comfy, preserving Incineroar for as long as I need would probably be the smart play. Next we have the thing that kind of just straight up 6-0s him, and that is Swords Dance Diggersby. Basically, if I get 20% on things like Necrozma and Braviary, then I 6-0 his team because everything else is O-code by +2 quick attack, or Earthquake if they're slower, and then Braviary is the only thing that doesn't get O-code by +2 quick attack, so we kind of need some chip on that, and Necrozma I think is also the same way, so we need some chip on that. But those two things, once I get the chip and I get the opportunity for Diggersby to come in and click Swords Dance, we do that and we win the game. Otherwise, Diggersby comes in every once in a while and either claims some kind of kill, claims a chip kill with quick attack, claims a kill on like a Alolan Marowak, or deals a lot of damage. Like Vaporeon takes over half, so Vaporeon can't even switch in anyways, so that's going to be something. Gloom at +2 is O-code by Earthquake, so that's something to note. Basically, Diggersby is really hard for him to switch into. Basically, he doesn't switch into it, especially if I have rocks up. It just makes my Diggersby calcs so much more better, and then Diggersby kind of just wins the game. So that's why I was saying we kind of built this team around getting chip on things and then coming in with Diggersby and winning the game with it. I also need to make sure I don't throw Diggersby away too early, because if I do, then picking up kills on his team is a little bit tough. Like Gengar and Serena and Incineroar can do it, but it's a little annoying because Diggersby just does it so much better in this match. We are running Huge Power, Life Orb, Adamant. We are outspeeding his Vaporeon, a max speed Vaporeon. If he wants to bring something like that, like some kind of crazy spec set or something, we do still outspeed his Vaporeon. Next, we have Serena. We are bringing also an Assault Vest Serena with Queenly Majesty. We're bringing Power Whip, Knockoff, Triple Axle, U-turn. I did not want to bring Chop Kick because switching in a Braviary on a Chop Kick really makes me lose. I don't want to proc Braviary's Defiant in any kind of way. But Queenly Majesty is here for a certain Pokemon, which is Comfy. Assault Vest Queenly Majesty actually just straight up walls the Comfy because he can't use Giga Drain or Draining Kiss if he's Triage, and if he's Pollen Puff, he needs like 4 Calm Minds to kill me, I think, or something like that, like something crazy. So then I can kind of play around with Serena and go into pivot out, U-turn, Triple Axle, knock off, whatever I need to do to kind of get positioned in on some kind of Calm Mind Comfy. But like I said, Incineroar beats Calm Mind Comfy. The only thing is, and Gengar also beats Calm Mind Comfy at +1. So if they do have Psychic, then they don't have anything to hit Serena with, which means that I'm not really worried about anything. But if they bring Comfy, there might also be some kind of Trick Room U-turn set, which means I don't have to really worry about anything anyways. But if I see Comfy, Serena kind of needs to stick around, especially if I see Comfy and Vaporeon, because it really pressures those two Pokemon and gives me a lot of momentum in this game. Serena also lives it's another Pokemon on my team that lives a +2 Rising Voltage in the terrain. Rising Voltage that's not a +2 actually does less than half to Serena every time. I think Incineroar actually has a chance to get O-code by the Rising Voltage. Serena always lives it and always kills with Power Whip, always kills with Knockoff. I don't know if it always kills with U-turn, but that would be something I need to actually check. You should probably see that calc pop up on your screen right now. But Triple Axle for the Braviary switch-ins, and also so I don't get walled by Gloom. If it does come down to that and I need to hit some Triple Axles, then we're gonna have to click that button. We're making sure we outspeed, again, max speed Vaporeon, and I think Sandslash is also that same speed tier. So we're making sure we outspeed those two things, and yeah, that's pretty much the Serena set. Next we have, and also our rotom-fan. we are air slash volt switch defog light screen. I do have defog in case he does bring rocks on Alolan Marowak and Necrozma. That would be kind of annoying, so we're running heavy duty boots defog. He could also bring spikes and T-spikes on the Pincurchin. That would be annoying. We have light screen because a ton of his team is special, so setting up a light screen really slows his team down a lot, especially if he's relying on things like Vaporeon, Raichu, Pincurchin to win at that point. So having a late game light screen really helps our team out. We're making sure we outspeed everything that is 282. I don't remember what is 282. Hold on, I'm gonna pull this. You're gonna see my matchup doc for a second here because I don't remember what is 282. I think I actually need to put more speed in this Rotom, if I'm being completely honest. This Rotom needs to hit, so it outspeeds Necrozma. It could outspeed Braviary. I need to make it outspeed Braviary. I think I messed up on that, and or Showdown like reset my spreads, but I need to be above 284. So I need to be at 286. Now we outspeed Braviary, and we outspeed non-Scarf Braviary. We outspeed Necrozma. That's not a +2. Kind of just speed creeping those things. Rotom-fan actually can come in on a lot of the team and just click Air Slash. I don't even really need to click Volt Switch because, like I said, a Lightning Rod Marowak kind of comes in on this every time, which is annoying. But with us being able to click Air Slash on most of his team, I don't really have anything to worry about, especially once things like Raichu and Pincurchin are gone. Rotom just freely clicks Air Slash and gives me chip on his team, and he has to wish back. He has to wish up a lot of Pokemon left. So then, if he has to wish up, Rotom pressures the Vaporeon with Volt Switch or any kind of electric move, which makes it hard for him to get wish passes back onto his team once a couple of his Pokemon are gone. So I think Rotom was pretty good in this matchup, especially just for the defog aspect of it, which is the main reason I brought it. And this is the last slot that I said changed around a lot, which is Druddigon. Like I said, it was Lucario, it was Wigglytuff, but I think Druddigon just offers a lot more consistency with the team. Stealth Rock Glare is really nice. Comfy does way under half with Draining Kiss. This is also a really good way to get Braviary in range of Diggersby, because after one Brave Bird on Druddigon, especially after coming on rocks, like you add rocks, Brave Bird, Recoil, Rough Skin, and Rocky Helmet to that Braviary. Braviary just takes a ton of chip, kind of just kills itself, which is really nice, and we take under half from a Scarf Brave Bird. So not even worried that much about that. If he does bring Alolan Marowak, we could come in on like a Flare Blitz or something. We get glares off on anything that's not an electric type, which is really nice. Getting a glare off on Braviary is good. Vaporeon is good. Getting a glare off on Comfy is good. Getting a glare off on Alolan Marowak is good, because then we can kind of glare flinch them out with Rock Slide and stuff, and we even have Earthquake for coverage. But overall, Druddigon is a pretty consistent Pokemon on this team, and yeah, that's basically the team builder. This team builder was pretty short. Actually, how long even was this? It was 13 minutes. I guess it wasn't that short. Pretty standard team builder. Felt like it was pretty short, but my team is pretty straightforward because the matchup I feel like is really good for us. Like I said, my opponent is the one that has to come up with some kind of tech, so I need to just make sure that I'm playing consistently around whatever tech he wants to bring, and we should be good to go. So that is where I'm going to leave you. If you like what you saw, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya. All right, couple things. My mic messed up during the live recording. I just did my outro, and you're seeing me again because this is going at the back end of the team builder, since I don't think that this is going to be long enough to put one video. I don't know. My day with this battle has not been fantastically great, but as you can see here, my opponent does not bring Marowak, they don't bring Braviary, and they don't bring Comfy, which are all big to me. They do bring Scrafty, Sandslash, and Necrozma. I battled against Necrozma. It's kind of annoying. I wasn't really scared of it on team preview. I was more scared of Sandslash and to be fair, Scrafty, because outside of Rotom, I didn't have a way to hit Scrafty super effectively, and if it was Intimidate, it was going to give me a pretty hard time with Diggersby. So it was kind of a Pokemon that I was a little intimidated by, no pun intended. But At that preview, I saw that he had no Shadow Ball switch-ins, so I just kind of decided that Gengar could be a win con if I needed it to, and I decided to not just straight up lead Gengar. So we did go for the Incineroar lead. He did lead Scrafting right off the bat. I see that it's not Intimidate, and I go, okay, that's really good. I do choose to stay in with Incineroar here, and just U-turn out, because I'm thinking if he does CC, that's fine, but then I go into Diggersby and I get a Swords Dance off and probably just win at that point. So I wasn't too scared of the CC. I also just go into rotom-fan at that point, or even Gengar at that point, and kind of just deal with it. I was more worried about like a Scarf Moxie set or something like that, which he didn't even end up being Scarf. But I just decided to U-turn out here, and once I see that he's not Intimidate, I'm a lot less worried about the Scrafty versus my Diggersby. Here I'm thinking, okay, he probably goes into Pincurchin here, because Pincurchin sets the terrain. It could be Lightning Rod, which he has Raichu, so I don't think it would have been Lightning Rod, but he could just go straight Pincurchin here and kind of wall my rotom-fan. So I just go for the Volt Switch here. He ends up staying in, which is such a weird play to me, because like rotom-fan just air slashes there, potentially flinches, and then air slashes again, and you've given your Scrafty way too much chip to even like I don't know. I don't understand the play, even for what he did go for. He went for Super Fang. Super Fang on rotom-fan was like, I would have been happy with taking that for the air slash. You know, for the air slash trade, I would have been happy taking that Super Fang. So I'm not entirely sure why he stayed in, but we did go into Druddigon, predicting like another knockoff. He did Super Fang. We get the Rocky Helmet and the rough skin damage on him, which is good. He's still at -1. He does go into the Pincurchin here, and I just set rocks, thinking, okay, his removal is Alolan Sandslash, and that's not great. I get the Earthquake. He goes for the T-Wave. That's all completely fine. I thought he would go into Vaporeon here, but I didn't really want to make a read into Rotom, so I decided to just stay in and click Earthquake again, because I decided he hasn't been switching on things that pressure him, so if he does just want to give me Pincurchin, then I'll let him give me Pincurchin. So he goes into Vaporeon, we get the chip. I just go for the Glare here, but he Ice Beams and takes out the Dread, which is fine. That's all completely fine. I just go back into Rotom here, and I click Volt Switch, and he stays in again, which is so weird to me. So I go into Serena, and he ends up critting my Serena, and this crit could be very detrimental to the rest of the game, because like I've said in the team preview, Serena was EV'd to live Alolan Raichu. That crit puts Serena just in range of Alolan Raichu in terrain. So now I don't have AV on Incineroar, and this crit has put my Serena in range of Alolan Raichu. I don't have many great switch-ins anymore, and he keeps not switching out, so I'm kind of on the fence of where I need to go for knockoff or power whip here, or even just a U-turn. But I decided to go for the knockoff, and I also decided that we're gonna have to actually, I power whipped here. He protects, and he does kind of this Wish Protect thing for a while. I click U-turn thinking he's gonna switch now, but he doesn't. I don't understand the plays that he's making on staying in. I hard swap back into Serena, predicted the protect, and I think here I went for knockoff. This is where I went for knockoff. He goes into the Sandslash. He was actually Scarfed, so I didn't think he was gonna have Rapid Spin and be Scarfed at the same time. I was right. He predicts here and goes for Earthquake, but that just did no damage to Incineroar. Like, it was not enough. He goes for the knockoff, kind of confused. I thought Earthquake was gonna kill there. Very surprised that it didn't. I don't know why he's just not clicking Earthquake, but I'm completely fine with it. I just U-turn out here, and at this point, Gengar comes in and actually just claims something. He switches in Vaporeon, and everything is going to plan. I trick the Scarf here, which is exactly what I want to do. Vaporeon basically becomes relatively useless at that point, because I don't know what his last move was. It might have been Baton Pass, it might have been Flip Turn, but it also could have been Scald. He never revealed it, but I know he has Ice Beam, which is non-stab, and it doesn't pressure Incineroar at all. So I trick here, I get leftovers from Vaporeon, and he gets the Scarf. He goes for the Ice Beam. That doesn't do a lot, and we just pressure him back with things like Shadow Ball. He made a misplay here by going into Scrafty. It's exactly what I wanted him to go into, because now I get Shadow Ball chip and Sludge Wave just kills. So we get Shadow Ball. He doesn't have Sucker Punch or anything, so I just go for the Sludge Wave here, and I'm steadily getting back health on my Gengar. with this leftovers. And at this point, Gengar kind of just wins the game. He comes in with Vaporeon here. I just Thunderbolt and then I Sludge Wave, or I Thunderbolt and then I Shadow Ball. He has to go into Pincurchin. I kill Pincurchin. He has to go into Raichu. He has to kill. He comes in on rocks. He has to kill the Gengar. And if he's Life Orb, then I go into Diggersby. Quick Attack kills. If he's not Life Orb, then I go into Rotom. I Volt Switch, go into Diggersby. Quick Attack kills, and then I can deal with the Necrozma later. But sadly, this is probably the one thing that could have won in the game. And I go for the Thunderbolt here, right? And it does 50. That's all great. And he goes for the Ice Beam, and he freezes me. That freeze right there, straight up won in the game. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. That freeze was the only reason he won that game. I win this game every other time without that freeze. So my play here is very difficult. I can go into Incineroar and take the Ice Beam slash predict the switch. The thing is, Incineroar I don't think took 2 Ice Beams, so I decided not to go into Incineroar and just hope that he stayed in and just killed my Gengar. But I could have predicted a switch out, went to Incineroar, taken a potential Ice Beam, and potentially lost Incineroar to this Vaporeon, which might not have been horrible because then I can go into something like rotom-fan. But I'm kind of just hoping that Gengar thaws out here, because Gengar just wins the game. Like, Gengar is just what wins me the game, and he froze it, and it's so dumb. So I decide to stay in. He does switch. I don't thaw. He goes into Necrozma, and I'm thinking, okay, I just need to thaw. I need to hit this thing. I can't afford to switch now. If I go into anything, Incineroar gets hit by Focus Blast. If he's some kind of physical set, Incineroar gets hit. Serena, it was crit earlier in the game, so Serena has to be played differently. Rotom-fan I kind of need to make sure I can still hit Vaporeon. So I'm just sitting here hoping that I thaw, and I don't thaw. He goes for the sub, and I'm thinking, just thaw now. I don't thaw. He gets the Dark Pulse off, which is horrible. All right, so at this point I'm thinking, okay, he has Dark Pulse, which means he probably has Photon Geyser. He has sub, and I'm thinking his last move is probably like Autotomize or Recover. So I go into Incineroar, and then this man breaks out Power Herb, Meteor Beam, right? He goes for the Meteor Beam. I'm thinking not a big deal, and then he's Power Herb. So in hindsight, probably should have went something like probably should have went Serena there to get a knockoff off. I didn't think he was gonna have coverage for Incineroar once I saw Dark Pulse. So I just thought Incineroar was a good play. Obviously it wasn't. I could have also went Diggersby and used Quick Attack and tried to win the late game with Serena. But at this point, I needed Diggersby to win, because Diggersby, like I said, killed the Raichu. I need to break the sub, and it kills the Necrozma. But it didn't happen. The freeze lost me the game, especially since he was sub Necrozma. But he got the +1, so now Photon Geyser kills the Serena, which means that he didn't have Focus Blast or anything for Incineroar. Like his move for Incineroar was Meteor Beam, which is so weird, because if he had to waste that on Rotom, then what is he hitting Incineroar with? I don't understand it. That's weird. It's a weird prep for me. I don't know. But I decided to just go in Diggersby here, Quick Attack, let Diggersby go down. At this point, I'm basically very annoyed at this point over the fact that I did get frozen. Rotom-fan comes in. I didn't expect to be faster. If he was max speed, I should not have been faster. I'm surprised that he was not near max speed, which is another reason I didn't go into Rotom-fan earlier, just because I thought he was just going to be faster than me and kill me anyways. But I do get the Air Slash off. We do flinch him. We get another Air Slash. Basically all that does is save us differential. There's still no way we win this game. He goes into Vaporeon, giving us another differential. All he had to do was go into Raichu, and he won. I don't understand why he didn't just go Raichu and just win the game. But he goes into Vaporeon, he gives me Vaporeon, and then he goes into Pincurchin, and he gives me Pincurchin basically. I get the Air Slash off here, and we don't flinch him. He does get the rising voltage, doesn't do too much, but then we just go for the volt switch, kill the Pincurchin. So I mean, we held it down to a 1-0, but we should have won that game 4-0 at least, because like I said, on the turn, I'll kind of go back and kind of walk us through, but on the turn that we'll keep going back here. So on the turn that we get frozen, right, he has Vaporeon in. On this turn, all I have to do is Shadow Ball Vaporeon. If he decides to switch out, then I punish him, because everything, Pincurchin dies to Shadow Ball, and Alolan Raichu and Necrozma definitely don't take 2. So he has to stay in if I'm not frozen here and give me Vaporeon. Then he has to go into Pincurchin and give me Pincurchin. Then he has to go into Raichu and kill Gengar here. He could also go into Raichu and misplay and nasty plot, but if he goes into Raichu, he goes for the move, kills Gengar. After rocks and life orb damage, Diggersby comes in, quick attacks the Raichu, and then I can keep quick attacking the Necrozma. He can't sub up on me. He's forced to kill my Diggersby. Then I can go into Incineroar or probably Serena at that point, and he's forced to kill my Serena, or else Serena deals with it. And Serena at this percent it was at actually lived a hit if he wasn't a +1. So Serena would have dealt with the Necrozma there. If it didn't, then rotom-fan would have come in and dealt with the Necrozma just like it did. I just had to chip it down for rotom-fan. But the only way he wins this game is getting the freeze and coming in with the Necrozma and subbing, because like I said, even if I go into Incineroar here, he's forced to kill Incineroar with Meteor Beam. And then I guess I could go into Diggersby and quick attack, but quick attack doesn't kill. So then he kills Diggersby, and in my mind, I'm slower with rotom-fan. So my only hope at that point to me is for AV Serena to live a hit, but it wouldn't have. So then I would have been in the same situation. Like, I don't know. It's such a weird thing. And I guess at that point I would have had Gengar, but Gengar just comes in and is still frozen. So there's no, I don't know. The freeze screwed over the whole game, and it's really annoying that we end up week 1 0-1, lost to 1-0 in such a good matchup. Like, he had to hacks me to win. I hate to say it, but he lost the game 100% of the time if he didn't freeze there. So it's a little annoying. I'm still, like, this match happened 3 hours ago and I'm still annoyed about it, because the league is such a competitive league. Having this loss, I just feel like is going to come back to haunt me. But hopefully we can play out of our minds for the next 10 weeks. It is an 11-week season, so we can come back for it. We just got to play out of our minds. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of good that I'm doing the post-com. Like, you can tell I'm still a little bit annoyed. In game though, it's one of the times I've been more mad than any other games. It might be a good thing that my mic quit working, but yeah, so that's our week 1 game wrapped up in a nutshell. I don't really like doing post-coms, but I had to because my mic messed up. So that is where I'm going to leave you. If you like what you saw, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.